And we are live. What's up, everybody? It is Frankie here. Week 4 of the 2019 NFL season has all but wrapped up. It's essentially wrapped up because nobody's wasting their time watching Steelers-Bengals tomorrow night. What a complete, just awful Monday Night Football game that'll be. But Saints-Cowboys just wrapped up. We're going to recap that along with the rest of the Week 4 games. This was a quite uninteresting game, honestly, in my case. This was just defensively great. Great defensive performances from both Dallas and New Orleans. But New Orleans Bridgewater didn't make any mistakes. New Orleans just did enough there. New Orleans scores 0 touchdowns and wins the game. Good for them. I hated Dallas's last drive there. Awful job by Dallas there at the end of the game, I felt like. Just me personally. They get 3 and out on New Orleans. They knock them out of field goal range. Then the first play, they get the ball back, 3 timeouts, or they got rid of all their timeouts. First play, Prescott gets sacked. Prescott gets sacked in the first play, and then the next play, with no timeouts, they throw the ball into the middle of the field. Elliott gets tackled. You have no timeouts. I don't get it at all. I hated Dallas's play calling there at the end. It almost worked. They almost got the Hail Mary off, but it didn't happen. And New Orleans pulls off the victory. A very boring win, 12-10, 23 for 30, 193 yards for Teddy Bridgewater. Kamara, 17 carries, 65 yards. Elliott had nothing tonight, 18 carries for 35 yards. Went and fumbled the ball, which is something you never see from him. So, bad performance there from Dallas, but and terrible because this was Dallas's chance. And New Orleans, fine win. You know, they're now 3-1. Sorry, they haven't updated yet. 3-1. I still don't know how good Bridgewater is, but that's okay. If he can just keep the Saints afloat, then that's good. Just wait until Breeze gets back. So good for him. And then for Dallas, this was your chance after the Rams lost today. This was your chance to say, we're the best team in the NFC. We're the favorites. And to fall apart like that there on prime time. I know they were on the road, but you are the favorites. And so to lose that was just really bad job by Dallas. But credit to New Orleans. They hung in there. They fought tooth and nail, and they got the win. So New Orleans wins 12-10. I don't know who the favorite's going to be tomorrow. Maybe the Rams will still be the favorites. Maybe they'll make the Saints the favorites now to win the NFC. I don't know, but pretty crazy stuff there. Pretty crazy day here in the big favorites. My big takeaway: the best teams in this league, Patriots, Chiefs, Rams, Cowboys, even all struggled today. Some of these teams came out with a win, but all of them struggled. There was no easy victory for a lot of these teams, for any of those teams. Let's get through the other games here, but again, congrats to New Orleans. They're now 3-1, and that means only 3 undefeated teams left: the Patriots, the Chiefs, and the Niners. I could have told you those first two. I could not have told you the Niners. I did not think the Niners were going to be a contender going in this season, but yeah, they've done their job in the first 3 games. All right, let's get to the other games here. Titans and Falcons. This is what happens when you trust Dan Quinn and Atlanta. They looked completely inept today defensively. Dan Quinn making at home. I mean, you're on Tennessee scored 24 points, and you only scored 10. Dan Quinn making a serious case. He and Jay Gruden right now are the top 2 contenders, I feel like, for first coach fired. I mean, it's been for Quinn for a while. They beat Philly in week 2. Everybody got excited, and then the last 2 weeks it's been nothing. And he hasn't been the same since Shanahan left. So rough loss there for Atlanta. They've been outscored 38-10 in the first quarter and 71-20 in the first halves this season. We wrote them off a few weeks ago, but they showed us a little something today. So good job there for Tennessee. Tennessee now moves to 2-2. Atlanta now 1-3. Patriots really put a damper on New England throughout that game. I mean, that was a big time performance there from the defense. And, Josh Allen, I'm not really sure, and we'll see how healthy he is going forward. We don't know about the concussion stuff. But I was really impressed with the Bills' defense today, so that's number 1. But I was even more impressed, yet again, by the Patriots' defense. I just want to point it out once again. 4 games, the Patriots have allowed 1 offensive touchdown. Today was their first. In 4 games, they've allowed 1 offensive touchdown. This is the best defense I've ever seen in my life. I know it's early, there's a lot of time, but my goodness, the performance they put on this first 4 games is 85 Bears level. Now we'll see how that is throughout the end of the season, but the Patriots are the favorites right now, and they should be. They have the best defense, and they have a quarterback and a coach that won't lose. So all of that is just in play here. Again, their offense today was not great, but you know what? They got it. They got it done. They got it done today. And again, the defense was phenomenal. I don't think Brady threw a touchdown, but again, it didn't matter. They did enough. He threw an interception actually, Brady, but Josh Allen threw 3 picks, so that was more of a problem. New England, man, again, tough. They weren't great today, especially offensively, but defensively it was enough. And just look out for this team going forward. They play Washington next week. I mean, my gosh, and now you get a team that's just spiraling out of control. Excellent job for New England and for Buffalo. Again, we'll see how Allen is, but they have my attention now. I'm interested to see what this team is going to do going forward. Next up, Chiefs-Lions. This is the other best team in the AFC who struggled today a little bit until the end of the game. Mahomes didn't throw a single touchdown, but that was okay. He led them enough. He had that great final drive, that 15-yard scramble on 4th down. That was just classic Mahomes. There was earlier in the game, there was the Kelsey to McCoy lateral that was just so much fun. Reminded me of the Dolphins in the epic in Miami. The lateral that scored the touchdown at the end of the first half. Detroit Mahomes, by the way, 315 yards with no touchdowns, and then had Darrell Williams score the late touchdown to give him the win. I gotta give I'm impressed with Detroit here. I gotta give Detroit credit. For 60 minutes, they fought with one of the 2-3 best teams in this league. They fought tooth and nail. The defense played well. Offense was very good. Stafford had 3 touchdowns today. He was excellent. This was a really solid performance there from Detroit. And it's like, all right, this team is this team is the one to look out for. Do I think they're better than Green Bay? I don't think so. Better than the Bears? Maybe. But this was a real, after a terrible week 1 tie. It was basically a loss, tying with Arizona after having a big lead. They've shown up in the last few games to make you think, all right, this team's for real. This team's legit. Keep an eye out for them. So great job for Detroit, but for Kansas City, man, that final drive there was just epic. It was just beauty watching them just go down the field right there. You just had to film. But again, Detroit, all credit where credit is due. They were great today in all facets of the game. They just couldn't get it done. But Kansas City now heads to 4-0. Raiders and Colts. This is what I trusted Indianapolis. I have bet against Indianapolis all season long. I haven't trusted them. I'm like, this team's not that good. So this week I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go with the Colts. And I felt like an idiot because the defense was bad today. Brissett, he did have a good performance, 3 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, but they just let Oakland do whatever they want on offensively. And give credit where credit is due. Oakland was well faceted in both offense and defense. 189 yards passing, 188 yards on the run. Again, I don't know how good Oakland is overall, but Carr was good today. Carr led the Raiders to touchdowns on 3 of their first 4 possessions. Eric Harris had a pick 6 late. Good performance from Oakland, and now they go to Chicago in London. So that's always fun, the London games. We know how much chaos that can be, but good performance there. From Oakland, they get the win. They're now 2-2. Indianapolis also 2-2. Not really much else to add. I don't really expect that much of either one of these teams. Chargers and Dolphins. For a split second, you thought Miami was going to win the game. Early on, I was like, wow, Josh Allen, really impressive. What are his stats? 12 for 16, 159 yards, 1 touchdown in the first half. Excellent. I'm like, oh my gosh, all right. They figured it out. Miami's figured it out. Miami's going to win this game. And then the second half started, and that was basically it. Miami has been outscored in the second half 81-0. The Chargers win their first game in Miami in 38 years. Phillip Rivers, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns. And they didn't need Melvin Gordon. I guess we're going to see him next week, which is fine. He'll wait. He'll wait on that. Have a little bit more time to practice. They had Eckler carry the load. He had 122 yards from scrimmage, scored his 5th and 6th touchdowns of the year. And he also became the first undrafted running back since 1967 to have at least 3 touchdown catches in each of his first 3 pro seasons. 3 touchdown catches, and it's only 3 games, so 4 games. So excellent job there for Eckler. Bucks played good. We'll get to the Bucks in a little bit. Yes, that Pats loss was brutal. Yes, sorry, Rob, about that. Again, I give you credit. Your Bills are good. I'm not a total believer yet, but I'm starting. They've got again. I'm curious about where this team's going to go forward. But for the Chargers, they took care of Miami. They did what they had to do. They covered late, and they pulled out the win against Miami. So impressive job there. Also, all right, now it's time to get to my boy Danny Dimes. What a great performance there. 2 interceptions, which was not great, but the thing I loved the most, it didn't bother him. The interceptions for Jones, it didn't bother him. He didn't like get to his head. He just brushed it off and just went down the field over and over again. Impressive performance from him. Looking for the stats: 23 for 31, 225 yards, 1 touchdown, and the 2 picks. But he was great. When we were talking about this season, a lot of Giants fans wanted Dwayne Haskins first. And if you've noticed in the first few weeks, who's developed quicker, faster, and better? It's Jones. Jones looks like a real solid NFL quarterback out there. It's only 2 games, but he looks like a real genuine NFL quarterback. And Haskins, that's just, and again, the other coach on the extremely hot seat, Jay Gruden. That's a terrible situation. I said this before. He's thrown a lot of quarterbacks under the bus, and now it looks like he's out of quarterbacks to throw. It looks like his time is going to be coming soon. But yeah, it's just and my gosh, the Giants defense can't defend anybody. How do you score 3 points? You score 3 points against a pathetic and one of the worst defenses in the league. You score 3 points? Shame on you. But although I will give the Giants defense credit, they played better today. They're still not good, but they played better today. They had the pick 6. Great job from them. And for the Redskins, again, that's just a disastrous QB situation there. You know, Keenum, Haskins, Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy's still in the league? How is that possible? That's so long ago. But regardless, fantastic performance from the Giants. They're now back in it. If they beat Minnesota, they're above 500. The Giants are now 500 for the first time in 3 years. They're 2-2, 500. It's crazy. After the way the season started, for them to come back like they have, very impressive. And now they play Minnesota, and we'll see if and Minnesota did not look very good today. We'll get to them. Minnesota looked pathetic, so we will see how this team goes moving forward. But for the Giants, again, you have hope. You have hope now that you can win this. That you can get into the playoff picture here. But a great performance there from the Giants. Really proud of this team and how they've handled all they have the last rough start, and they've come right back 2-2, and it wasn't even close today. By the way, apologies if any of you caught my video earlier on me. I was going to do a Daniel Jones video talking about him, and my sound wasn't working because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to work a computer. So if you're watching that live, I'm sorry that you had to hear 5 minutes of no sound. It was really uncomfortable. I have to do a better job with technology. So the next game, again, props to the Giants. Props out to Gallup, too. Comes in for Saquon and scores 2 touchdowns. Really, really well done. I've been saying for weeks, I thought the Browns, they couldn't be this bad. The Browns could not be this bad. They just had too much talent. And so I'm like, at some point, that's why I took them, earlier this week I took them to cover the spread. I think it was like 5 or 6. Because I'm like, this team they have to break out of their shell soon. And sure enough, today they did in a pretty remarkable way. Everybody, except OBJ, everybody clicked today. I'm looking for the stats here. Mayfield was fantastic. 20 for 30, 342 yards, 1 touchdown. Did have a pick. Nick Chubb had 165 yards running, including 88 yards on 1 carry. He had 3 touchdowns. Jarvis Landry had 150 yards, 167 yards receiving. This was the first time in Browns franchise history. 300 passing yards, 150 rushing yards, and 150 receiving yards. First time in their franchise's history. They played great today. They shut down Baltimore. Baltimore's defense looked pathetic. They gave up 500 total yards. This is now, although how much you attribute that to how good Cleveland was. On both teams here. For Baltimore, rough loss. After the great start to the season, they fizzled out. Lamar still had a pretty good game, but he had some mistakes as well. This division is now crazy. And now for Cleveland, again, you get right back in it. You silence the haters for one day. You silence all the haters. You silence everybody. You got a huge win there, and now you're 2-2. Will they keep it up? They play San Francisco next Monday night. That's gonna be that game's now very interesting. San Francisco's undefeated. Cleveland, very much better now. I'm fascinated to see how this game is going to play out on Monday night. It's way better than the Monday night game that we're getting tomorrow. But, again, solid performance there from Cleveland. Just totally dominant offensive performance. And this is what you've been expecting from Cleveland. Because everybody's like, oh, where's Cleveland? They've been so bad. And today, we saw it. We saw the Browns team that they can be at their best. except for OBJ not showing up. But that's fine. When you have everybody else performing, you don't really need OBJ. Great job there for Cleveland. I don't really have much to say about Panthers-Texans. Allen has figured out a way to go to. The Panthers have looked better with Kyle Allen than they had with Cam for some reason. They had 6 sacks at Houston and have had 14 the past 2 games, so the defensive line's pretty great. Watson, got sacked 6 times today. Rough going for him. Carolina pulls out the win. Allen had 200. Allen did have 3 fumbles though, and that was awful. But you know what? Solid performance there from the Panthers. They now move to 2-2. Houston back down to 2-2. Again, I really don't know what's like. AFC South, man. Who am I going with in the AFC South? Is it the Titans and the Texans? I mean, the Colts now, it's like, okay, maybe the Colts look like they could be. AFC South is so weird. And now you have Jacksonville. It's such a straight. Everything in the AFC South is just weird. I don't know what they're smoking down there, but it's strange. All right. So now to the 4 o'clock games. And there was no game more fun today than Bucs-Rams. My gosh. 95 total points. 55-40. Tampa, 2 weeks ago, Jameis Winston looked like he was heading straight for the XFL. And today, he was unstoppable. He looked like Mahomes. He looked like Brady. It was the Jameis Winston we've been waiting to see now for the most part of the last 5 years. 385 yards, 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Chris Godwin. He did have 1 interception, which was the pick 6. And Bruce Arians said this week, he wrote on the board on his team's driver race board. He wrote finish. They surrendered they gave up an 18-point lead to the Giants last Sunday. And I mean that was heartbreaking. And so this time the Rams came back and the Bucs closed it with a fumble recovered for a touchdown. And I mean again, I don't really think Tampa's going anywhere this year, but you know what? They were against the best team in the NFC. As of this week, I think most of us were going to say the Bucs are the best team. They came in and they shut them down. They were tremendous. And then for the Rams, okay, shut them down is not the right. They did allow 40 points, but they got the win. That's all that matters. And then for the Rams, I don't really know what to make of this because their offense hasn't been fantastic in the first 3 games, and now today, and yes, their offense was great today in the second half, but at one point it was 21-0. So I don't know what to make of this Rams team now because I was like, all right, they're not great so far, but like they'll beat Tampa. And nothing. Their defense today was just giving up all sorts of points. And, I mean, Goff had 3 interceptions. It was just at home. How do you do that? It's just one of those things. You can't understand football, Susan. You can't explain it. It's so weird today what happened with the Rams. And I'm thinking like, all right, this is the team right now that we're banking on in the NFC. And to lose like that, I mean, again, they scored the 40, yay, but you gave up 55. Just really strange. And now, again, with the Rams and the Cowboys losing, who is the favorite right now in the NFC? Tell me guys what you think. Is it the Rams? Is it the Cowboys? Is it somebody? Is it New Orleans now? Is it New Orleans? Do you think Bridgewater is going to be able to do enough that he's going to be able to float water? He's going to be able to keep the team afloat until Breeze comes back? Weird, man. But good performance there from Tampa. Really impressed with them today. I mean, you know what? They got it. They got it done there. I still don't know. I still don't know what's going to happen with Jameis. Don't know what's going to happen with Seattle. I don't think they're winning the division, but you know what? They got it done. Seattle and Arizona. Not much to say of this game. Seattle. Chris Carson did not fumble the ball. Congratulations, Chris. Well done. They went the entire first half without committing a penalty. Good performance. Wilson, 240 yards, a touchdown. Jadeveon Clowney, welcome to Seattle. Pick 6. They did everything they were supposed to do. Good job. Seattle win, and Arizona's really bad. Kyler Murray had his moments, but he did throw an interception. 242 yards, though. Lions could be a dark horse, I guess. Again, they were impressed with that. Maybe the Lions, but who's the favorite right now? That's what I'm wondering. Vikings, Bears. Oh, boy. Today we were reminded that Kirk Cousins, and yes, sports Twitter points it out every single chance they get, Kirk Cousins is getting paid $84 million to be the most overrated quarterback and overpaid quarterback in the league. Awful today. I know the Bears defense is good, but my gosh, they were just he was just lifeless. Nothing. And then Dalvin Cook, who's been the best running back probably in the season, probably this year. He's been the NFL's leading rusher. Nothing. The Bears defense just ate him up. And this is without Trubisky. Trubisky goes down, Chase Daniels comes in, comes in and does a pretty good job. 195 yards, a touchdown. Again, he got that in the first half, and then they just coasted the rest of the way. But it was like, all right, that was good. That's what I mean. I hope Trubisky's okay. Don't know what the whole extent is of his shoulder. Kirk Cousins is Alex Smith. Yes, sad but true. Solid performance. Didn't make any mistakes. Again, 0 interceptions is what you want. They got the win. They got the win, and I don't know how the severity of Trubisky's injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Hope he's okay soon. I know he's not the most consistent quarterback, but he is your starting quarterback. Losing him would be rough. Although, according to Jeff Dickerson of ESPN.com, he believes Daniels is a better fit for Matt Nagy's offense than Trubisky. So this could be a blessing in disguise for Chicago. We'll see. And then Minnesota, just pathetic. What are they now? 2-2. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just pathetic offense. And then finally, Jacksonville and Denver. Gardner Minshew, man. You know what? I'm starting to become a believer. I am starting to become a believer in Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew II. I'm looking for the stats here. I don't know what it is about this guy, but this guy finds a way to win every single time. He's amazing, and he's a great personality. He's fun. 213 yards, 2 touchdowns. He leads the comeback. How far were they down at one point? Yeah, they were down 14. They were down 14 in the second quarter, and they came back and pulled out a great win. He was escaping all kinds of problems. Just boom. Like, they would tackle him. They would try and tackle him. No. He's Gardner Minshew. He'll figure a way out. He was great today. Denver, another heartbreaking loss. This is 2 in a row. This is 2 this season. You lose to the Bears on a last-second field goal. You lose to the Jaguars on a last-second field goal. Denver, please do your job. And for Jacksonville, Leonard Fournette, I gotta give him credit. Last week I'm like, this guy's done. He can't carry anymore. Today he was great. He shut up everybody. 190 yards rushing, fantastic. And again, this division just continues. Is everybody in that division 2-2? I'm not sure, but it might be. I'll look it up now. Everybody in that AFC South might be 2-2, if they're not, they're really close to it. Yeah, everybody in the AFC South is 2-2. Jacksonville, Houston, Indianapolis, Tennessee, all 2-2. I mean, go figure. Go figure with this division. It's so weird. It is such a strange, bizarre division. I already knew it was going to be a bad division going into the season with Luck getting out, but now it's just off the walls. I don't know who the favorite is. How can you pick a favorite here? I mean, maybe Gardner Minshew leads the Jaguars to a 14-2 year. This is going to be a strange year. See who comes out of this division. But that is it. And yeah, Jacksonville pulls out the win. AFC South is the worst division. Jacksonville pulls out the win. Props to Minshew. Props to Jacksonville. They got it done today in Denver with the win. I think 26-24 over Denver. And the last-second field goal pulled it out. I think that's it. I think that those are all the games. I will not be back tomorrow night, if you guys are wondering. I have no interest, 0, nada, none, squat in that Steelers-Bengals game. I'm just going to skip it. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to enjoy the free time of not having to watch any football. I love football, but when you have to do this, you have to remember all this stuff. And this is just I don't have to watch this. I can just skip it. I can watch a movie or something like that. Tell me guys what you think down there in the comments below or here on the live chat. Thank you, Rob, for joining me here. It's so a fun first quarter of the season done. It's been crazy. It's been wild. A lot of quarterbacks have gone down. A lot of new young stars have come in. But it's been fun, and I think we said the Patriots were the best team going in, and through the first 4 weeks, they've proved that. Especially their defense. Their defense is going to be amazing this year. If they keep this up, if they keep this up, this defense is going to be one of the top. I mean, if they keep up this pace, they're going to be a top 5 defense of all time. I don't think that'll happen, but if they're just remote, if they're like 80% of what they are, they're going to be a great defense, and they're going to carry New England here, probably to a Super Bowl. So I'm fascinated to see how this will all play out. So again, that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here and you like what you see, click down there and subscribe. I'll be back Tuesday night, not with football, but with baseball. The MLB postseason is here, and we're going to be breaking down every game. We're going to be doing highlights of every game. I'll be doing my reactions after every game. Looking forward to it, and something I'm very much looking forward to: obnoxious Yankee reaction videos. You will get them from me. I'm so excited to do them. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. So that's it for now. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back Tuesday night with more. And yeah, so week 4, the NFL comes to an end. Cowboys, their undefeated streak is over. Saints pull out the win here. And a whole lot of other craziness happening in week 4. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you Tuesday night. Take care, and God bless.